Hi, you guys. Here we are, week 7 already, and this is my aha video for the week. My aha came to me. I was actually emailing a family member who's incarcerated, and they were asking me some questions about how things now, how they are with smartphones, and some different discussions about pictures and how you don't have to go down to print them anymore at, say, Walgreens or Walmart, the 1 hour photo, when that was a huge convenience. Now there's multiple ways to print these photographs at home with very affordable printers. I've seen printers that just hook into your iPhone and little pictures come out. Obviously, you have them digitally immediately, and that was the issue with the discussion we were having. Is this person has email privileges, this basic email. They have been incarcerated for 10 years now, and they needed some pictures. I was sharing some information about a family member's baby shower, some different things. And my aha came to me when I was explaining how much things have changed just in terms of photographs. And here I am studying this immediate gratification, and I just realized all the changes that technology has brought to the world, and how when you don't have this sort of access or knowledge, the amount of information that you're lacking. I can't even begin to comprehend what it must be like to not know how to use a smartphone, not to be communicating with 500 plus people on social media. I'm constantly able to get any information that I want. That was something I was talking about in my email. And with immediate gratification is how technology has now provided everything you could ever want, it feels like, in one place. Just having a smartphone gives you access to any book, any song, video. You're able to share pictures immediately. You can read about almost anything. You can connect with strangers. You can talk to your family through video conferences. There's just an endless amount of things that technology and the internet have provided. And this has created the culture of immediate gratification. And this week I've had a lot of time to observe people in a lot of different situations with immediate gratification on my mind at the same time. So that's been very interesting to just see how much our society, especially our younger generation, is influenced by this immediate gratification. It's all due to this internet and it giving them everything in an instant. Right now, we have a house full of sick people at my house, and this immediate gratification came into play yesterday when I said I would rent a movie for the kids, and I'm not really sure why this would happen, but to rent a movie, my satellite needed to be connected to my Wi-Fi, to my router, and we could rent the movie. Everything else on satellite worked except for the on-demand, and at the time, I did not have the opportunity to sit to reset and hook up this satellite back to our modem, and I'm not sure what the issue is. And my son had a complete meltdown, crying, and it just was beyond me because there was still hundreds of other satellite channels, plus I pay for Netflix. They have Amazon Prime. So I knew he had almost any other show that he wanted to watch right there available to him. I also know if he really wanted to watch a movie we were going to rent, there's the opportunity to Google it, and there's all sorts of ways, whether or not they're correct or right or ethical or even legal may be different, but you can see almost anything you want online. When I was a child, this certainly wasn't the case. I see this immediate gratification as an issue with my youngest. He loves video games, and I did some research on that, and there's a lot of benefits to it. But I also, while studying immediate gratification this week, came across an article by Paul Roberts, and it was for the American Scholar, and it's titled Instant Gratification. And he says, as the economy gets even better at satisfying our immediate self-serving needs, who is going to mind the future? And I found this very interesting, the article, because it focused a lot on gamers. In fact, it began with gamers who were in rehab, video gamers, and they were in actual institutions that serve these patients who need rehabilitated because they are addicted to video gaming. One individual had spent 4 years building a complete world and character, which he controlled in the game online, and all the immediate gratification that came along with that was to his dismay. And then in the end, he ended up in this treatment facility. I found this very interesting. I think video games have changed a lot. I know my son can instantly download games. If he had the password, he could. I know he often shops for the games and then will talk to us, and we can download those instantly. The whole idea of the games. And then today, when it came to immediate gratification, my son's real ill and he was mostly watching TV, but I noticed he was jumping back and forth to an Xbox game. And I asked him, what are you doing? I noticed you're not really playing. And I was shocked when he explained to me he was checking his timer because he was bidding for a car in this racing game. It's called Forza of Horizon 3 that he plays. And apparently you earn money as you win races and complete challenges, and this money can be used to purchase different kinds of vehicles to drive in the game. And he was waiting to buy a new Ferrari. He explained to me the difference between this model and the other one that he apparently owned in the game. And it was just interesting because he was checking the timer because he was bidding on it. I'm going to be looking into this a little bit more, but it appeared to me to be almost like an eBay type of online transaction without real money using these points. So I found that really interesting. Just everywhere I look, there's this immediate gratification. And I really see it affecting, like I said, my son. Even at work, I have had a lot of interactions with my students and was able to explain the whether it was a disconnect or a misunderstanding, oftentimes was because I was working with someone from this generation text, as Dr. Oza refers to them as, and they were expecting immediate results, and therefore they did not receive immediate gratification, and they were very dissatisfied. This also happened with a colleague this week. She's one of our youngest professional staff in the office. I mean, I think she's an awesome person, really neat person. But everyone always stereotypes her as the millennial, and, she gets referenced in terms of these ideas that people have about millennials. Well, this week I was just shocked because, as you know from my posts and my videos, I work in academic advising. I work in an academic and counseling center. And so she's one of our academic advisors, also counselor. And on Friday, I was out of the office. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been Friday, my apologies. Wednesday, I left the office and I received a text from her, and she's like telling me how she's signing up for grad school. And she's going to get another master's because there's a benefit through our work. And that would pay for it. And then within 4 hours, she sent me a text that she is registered for her PhD. And I was very offended for being an academic advisor that someone would go from waking up and thinking they were going to get their second master's to being enrolled in a PhD program. And through her, I saw, a lot of these stereotypes of what people think millennials do, obviously, rushing through the decision, especially when her career is in academic advising. And we know there's a lot to consider, especially as you choose different degree programs, and terminal one especially. Also, I was surprised by how well everyone markets to these people. A program was able in one afternoon to convince her to fill out the application, do her financial aid paperwork, and have a schedule in hand. This is pretty amazing. This is instant access, and that does help me bring why some of my students expect that in certain cases. I did ask this girl, why haven't you considered this one? It's, more local or regional, or so-and-so's attending this. And she was dead set on this one program immediately, and it was because they gave into that immediate gratification. They gave her everything she needed to know about this PhD in a matter of hours, which is an incredible amount of information if you really think about it. So this was just an example that I wanted to use about experiencing immediate gratification with a colleague. As I mentioned, this happens with my students. Since taking this class, I definitely understand their complaints more often. Since I am the online academic advisor in our center, that they would expect online to be immediate. And I am working on ways to communicate to our students the processes at our institution so that they aren't misled by the word online. So this week, my aha, as you can tell, was a lot of observations and just observing how immediate gratification can be seen, the effects of it can be seen in a variety of situations. I thought it was interesting. I was at a baby shower last weekend, and everybody knew the person's theme was elephants, and everyone had been on Amazon and ordered gifts. So I thought this was funny, that everyone had this mentality or had been marketed well by Amazon that we all shopped on there, had the thing shipped. One girl, I guess based on her conversations and her daughter's comments, they might have decided to come last minute. She provided a card with a printout of what she had ordered from Amazon and would be delivered to the mommy-to-be's house. So even now I see where people, everybody, because of technology, is tapped into this market of immediate gratification. And I see that the desire for this immediate gratification is being met in numerous ways because of technology. As I mentioned in the beginning, technology allows us to access almost anything in our smartphones. If we think back to the 90s, certainly before that in the 80s, we would have one thing to play music, maybe even multiple things if you had a radio and a tape player. And then if you had, gotten a CD player, you might have all three because the times were so different in terms of technology. You have books at your fingertips, multiple devices you can read them on, movies you can download and rent in an instant. So again, like I mentioned, technology is everywhere and just feeding this immediate gratification because of the nature of the technology. So that was my aha this week, and that's also my final paper. So I'm excited to finish up and to really apply the information from this class. I appreciated how we used one book, and each chapter had different ideas, and we were able to really dig in and research within those ideas topics of our interest. And now I will continue to apply those, and immediate gratification will definitely be an area that I'm going to learn more about and learn how I can contribute to this culture in a positive way, especially for my children. Thank you.